Dope Black Podcast.
You're listening to the Dope Black Dads podcast. I'm Marcus Ramsahol, and today I am joined by Babatunde Aléshé, and hopefully I got that right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. So Baba is a writer, an actor, a comedian. He's also got a new podcast out with Puffin books. So lots and lots to talk about in the Dope Black Dad space. And of course, he's a father himself as well. Welcome, Baba.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, man. Thank you.
So, I mean, there's so much to kind of ask you about and kind of pick your brains about, because there's so many things that you've done. So I guess let's start with fatherhood. How many children you got now, and how old are they?
Yeah, just the one. I've got a son, and he is 6, just turned 6, 1st of August. So, yeah, man, full of energy.
Wow. And how's fatherhood treating you?
Fatherhood is challenging, I won't lie to you. It's good, you know, it's lovely to like look at my son and be like, wow, like you came from me. You're like, you know what I mean? And see like the different, like, you know, just the way like he looks and stuff like that, similar features and stuff. But what's always so surprising is just like his personality. It's just like, wow, you got that from me, and you got that from your mum, or that's part of your that's your grandma there, or you know, things like that. It's just always surprising. So yeah, man, it's full of surprise, but it's challenging.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things, just before we hit record, we was talking about, certainly I find it challenging living a touring life. I'm a musician and I'm on the road a lot. I've just come back from a weekend of shows. You're a gigging comedian. How is that kind of different for you in your line of work?
Yeah, it is. I think the challenging thing for me is finding moments, spaces of time, and where I can, you know, sit down and write. Because if I kind of like separate myself from everybody, my son will come and find me. Like, for sure, he will just come and find me, and he'll, you know, Dad, what are you doing? And it's at that moment that he wants to disturb my life. You know what I mean? Like, I could be next to him and he'll be playing, like, you know, doing his own thing, playing with his toys or on his tablet. The minute I leave the room, bang, where's Dad? Like, you know, so he's I've got a clingy son. But when I'm on the roads and stuff like that, it's challenging, but I'm never, you know, away for too long for it to be, you know, too much to bear kind of thing.
Oh, that's good. At least you can come back and enjoy time. And do you get a lot of time when you're off the road, or is it still busy with everything else that you do?
Oh, no, it's busy. My wife likes to pack my calendar with with activities, you know what I mean? Like, so as soon as I come off the roads, it's, hey, we're going here, oh, we're going there. And it's just like, oh, gosh, you know.
And I see you're wearing your Arsenal shirt today. Have you inflicted that upon him?
Oh, yes. Absolutely, man. If I must suffer, he must suffer too, man.
You guys have had a good season so far, right? You know, the project is going well.
I mean, so far, we're only 4 games in, man, so I'm not getting excited. I'm just, you know, this is Arsenal at the end of the day. So you can't get too excited, you know what I mean? Like, you always have to, you know, maintain a level of optimism, but always have in the back of your mind that, hey, this is going to go wrong at some point.
Because, you know, Marvin from Dope Black Dads, he's a huge Arsenal fan as well. And he's talked about kind of how all-consuming football can be. Like I said before, I'm a Liverpool fan. And in a very similar way, although people don't see it, I'm like, oh, you know, there's a lot of pain with being a Liverpool fan as well.
I understand. Not recently, though, man. You guys have been outstanding recently. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I had to pinch myself when, you know, we got to that middle of that league season that we won, and my mate's like, you know, the league is won, right? And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. We're miles ahead. Like, oh,
you wanted to finish the cross line first.
I still remember Mickey Thomas and all that. That's happening again.
Wow. Love it.
Anyway, aside from football, what I really wanted to talk to you today about was your Puffin Books podcast, Mission Imagination. I've been listening to it, really loving that, and quite different, I suppose, from the world of stand-up comedy and kind of the stuff that we're used to seeing you in. So how did that come about?
Oh man, that was Puffin. Mags Creative. They work alongside Puffin Books, and they approached me with the idea of doing the podcast. And the only thing I said is that, if we're going to do this, let's champion diverse voices. Let's talk to like female authors and, Black and Asian authors, like, basically the minority, let's champion those voices. And, luckily they had like a whole kind of like slew of people that were coming through, that they were pushing through, that were like of that, same category that I was just literally explaining. So it was just perfect timing, man. And it's been a good roller coaster, man. I won an award last year for it, best commercial partnership. It's just been, I can't believe like all the things that we've achieved. It was #1 on the kids podcast charts, and it's just been getting like rave reviews. So I'm lucky to be a part of it, but I have to like big up Mags Creative, because they're really the genius behind the whole podcast, man. I couldn't do it without them.
And for anyone who's not kind of checked out the podcast yet, how would you describe it? How would you pitch it to someone to go check that out?
Oh wow, yeah. So it is literally storytelling from a child's perspective. Like literally, we give the children like little doses of like ideas, and then we just allow them to kind of create a world for themselves. But the good thing is, like, we'll always sit down with an author. So the author of, let's say, whatever book it is, they'll come in, they'll create the world, and then they'll just put the children in it and just like, run free. So it's storytelling with children, man, but letting them take the lead, and I think that's what's so special about it.
Yeah, and it's obviously working, winning all those awards and doing really well, and into your second series now. And you mentioned about how it was important for you to have that kind of diversity of voices involved. Yeah. So why was that so important for you?
The reason why that was mainly important is because when we first started like buying books for my son, me and my wife, we couldn't find any books, that reflected him or his culture or anything like that. And obviously we wanted to kind of like start writing books ourselves. But then when we were approached about the idea, we pushed that. I'd say me and my manager, we pushed for that. And luckily it was, like I said to you, right timing. But that was the initial reason, is we wanted our son to see himself in books. And luckily now we've got a whole bunch of books with black and brown and white and all types of, faces on the covers and in, characters within the book. And not only that, but the culture. There's a book, one of my son's favorite books is called Clean Up. And that is, it's a reflection on like, the Jamaican culture. And my son loves that. And plus my wife, whenever she reads books for him, she always does like different accents and stuff. So he loves the Jamaican accent. So that is one of his favorite books, man. Yeah. Nice.
I totally get that as well. For me, it was one of those things I didn't really, because you just grow up reading literature, and I've loved books. I used to be a librarian for many, many years, and I didn't realise until my daughter was about 8, one World Book Day, she decided to go in as a character who's half white, half black, a girl, on the cover of a novel by Maz Evans, really great book called I Spy. And my wife did a photo of her holding the book, and she put a little post up and said, Emily wants to go as this character because look, mummy, the girl on the cover looks like me. And I was like, wow, that is powerful.
Yeah. It really is, man.
So is their plans then?
No, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, are there plans for you then to be writing with this partnership? You got some stuff in the works, or is now not the time to say anything?
Yeah, no, yes, we do. We definitely do have plans, me and my wife, to, co-author a book, children's book, that is. And, the talks we've already had talks. It's just about now, putting pen to paper and actually, doing it. So, expect a book from, Babatunde Aléshé and Leonie very, very, very soon, man. Hopefully coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's really awesome.
Yeah, very exciting. Oh, look, we'll claim that as a kind of exclusive. I don't know how many people have got a book in the works there. But sorry, I cut you off when you were talking about, when I mentioned about Emily and her book.
Bro, I forgot what I was going to say. But I think what I was going to probably say to you was, it is so powerful for them to see themselves. And like I said, not just the color of their skin, but culturally. Like my son, he's half Jamaican, he's half Nigerian. And so just culturally, sometimes to see that reflected in like characters and all types of things, like I think it's just so beautiful. Like our cultures are just amazing. And I just like to spread that kind of like understanding about who Black people are, because we are diverse within ourselves. And so sometimes, like, even when I take my son to, like, let's say a Nigerian party, he's always just like, wow, like, dressing in different attires and stuff, like, okay, so this is how Nigerians dress, cool. And like yesterday we had like our family day in the park, and that's predominantly like the Jamaican side of our family. And, the music, the food, everything is different. So I just love when we can immerse our son into that so that he knows who he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's really interesting you're talking about kind of we are diverse within ourselves. Because you talked a bit about in your comedy before, like you're African, your wife is Jamaican, and you're kind of learning about each other's cultures and raising a child in that as well. How's that working out?
Nah, it's good, man. Like, honestly, the cultures are so similar. It's just, I sometimes me and my wife, we sit there and we wonder, what's all the big deal about? Like, especially between like Nigerians and Jamaicans, like, what's the big deal? Because really and truly, we are exactly the same. Yeah, the food may differ, but that's, obviously the food's going to differ. Language and all of that, but really and truly, we're both as loud as each other. So that really So yeah, no, it's great, man. It's so easy to grow a child in a house, just full of like vibrancy, man. I think it's better for them. And my son is really expressive. So, we love that alone, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we were just saying, actually, me and my missus, both my girls are very different.
Yeah.
My youngest is very like outgoing and expressive, and she'll dance and sing and
yeah.
like sketches and things for you. She's about 6 as well, actually. But it's great to just allow that creativity to kind of move around and just have the space for that to breathe as well.
Absolutely, man. I love the fact that our son is so expressive. Sometimes it can be a bit noisy, I'm not gonna lie. but I remember I was talking to my mum-in-law, and she was just saying, listen, it's better that he is like this than literally the opposite, where he's just a mute, because really and truly you do want your children to be confident, enough to, show who they are. And my son does not hide at all. He will show people exactly who he is from the get-go. So yeah, man, it's good to see that confidence, and really that's kind of like self-taught. I don't think that he's picked that up from any of us. I think he's just so expressive, and I just love that, man.
And does that make you kind of think about, I hate to be, let's give kids something to aim for in terms of like jobs or careers and things. Do you think he'll ever go into what you do, acting, writing, that kind of stuff?
I actually do think that at some point he is gonna, like, when he figures out exactly what I do, he's going to be like, oh, I want to do that as well, because he's always telling me jokes, terrible jokes, like awful jokes, where he just comes up to me and he goes, you know, like he'll just make up something and like the joke will not make any sense. But it's like, yeah, it's, my thing was, where are you getting this from? Because I never showed him any of my stand-up. He knows he knows what I do, but he doesn't know what I do, if that makes sense. Like, it's like he has a vague idea, like, okay, daddy tells jokes, and that's it. But the fact that every single day he will tell me like a joke, it's like, okay, all right, I see you've got something, keep going. Like, and I'm always encouraging him, just every day, if you want to, I'm here. Like, every time he goes, daddy, I got a joke. Yep, cool, tell me, I want to know. Because I just want to build up that kind of like momentum, because that's how I learned to do stand-up. It was the momentum in like writing. And so if my son is like teaching himself how to write now, mate, by the time he's like 15, he'll be ready. He'll have his first 5 minutes.
Yeah. So how did the whole kind of getting into stand-up come? Because we said, you know, you're a writer, you're a comedian, you're an actor. What came first?
So stand-up came first. Stand-up actually came first, actually. When I was 16, I just started writing jokes every single day. Like, every single day I'd write like 5 jokes. Terrible, awful jokes. But then I didn't even know what I was doing. And this is why I felt like the gift of comedy is it's either you have it or you don't. I literally took the best jokes out of, like, I had like hundreds of jokes. So the best like 6 or 10, I can't remember exactly how much, but I found out that, okay, I've got like 5 minutes of jokes. Cool. Went to a comedy club and I was just like, look, I just want to try out, like, I'm new, let me just like do my thing. It was like, yeah, you got 5 minutes? I was like, that's exactly what I've got. Boom, did my thing. And then, yeah, it was, you know, it was okay. But then from there, I just carried on. Then the acting came. The acting kind of took over in the middle, and then I returned back to stand-up. So yeah, but yeah, to answer your question, stand-up came first.
Because actually your acting CV is pretty incredible as well. Like, I saw recently the episode of Doctor Who that we played Sean.
God.
Brief stint in there, and I was like, oh man, I'd love to be in Doctor Who.
Oh, mate.
What was that like?
Yeah, Doctor Who was dope, man. I did it when Matt Smith was the Doctor. So this is like, yeah, like just coming out of drama school. And it was good. It was my first taste of, like, you know, seeing like paparazzi and stuff, because there was like, we were filming in the park and I look outside of the park and there is literally like hundreds of paparazzi just surrounding, because, you know, Doctor Who's such a massive program. They're always trying to, you know, catch little clips of filming and stuff. So yeah, Doctor Who was intense. It was intense because of how big the show is, but it was good.
And obviously been on stage as well. We've done a few of the same venues actually. Hackney Empire, Shaw Theatre.
Okay.
So what's been your kind of favourite acting gig you've done?
I did a play in Soho Theatre it was a Nigerian play called Iya Ile, which means housewife. And that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing, because when you do a Nigerian play and Nigerian people are in the audience, it's an interaction between audience and, you know, cast. Even though you're not talking to the audience, like, you know, directly, the little things that people in the audience will shout out, oh my God, like, you really have to hold your laughter in on stage. So yeah, that was my favorite play and most memorable. Yeah.
Amazing. And thinking about kind of drama school and stuff, that's quite a big decision, I think, still, in our community to say, if I'm going to further my education, this is how I'm going to do it. What was it like for you when you made that decision to go into drama school?
Oh, that one was actually came from anger. I was angry because my sister didn't get in, I think the year before. And so it was like, you know what? I'm not going to have that. Like, you guys rejected my sister. Watch, I'm going to get in. And luckily I did. But that's where it was fueled out of that anger. And like, kind of like throughout my whole time in drama school was just not, when I say anger, I don't mean in like an aggressive type of way, but it was just like determined to kind of like prove them wrong. Like, you know, you're not just going to deny my sister and, you know, kind of like think that that's that. I don't know why I was thinking like that, but I was at the time. And so any setback that I had at drama school, it was met with like, all right, cool. Watch when I, you know, get a chance to take this kind of course or whatever it was again. It was, yeah, I was mad determined there. And so it was good. It was good. Very challenging, but my determination saw me through the whole time, the whole 3 years I was there.
But it's obviously paid off because, you know, you're
Yeah.
big in the game now, celebrity Gogglebox and all that. We've got a running joke in my house. So I think it's such a great show and such a fantastic concept. And we were saying, you know, it wouldn't be funny if we was on Gogglebox, but then the running joke is, yeah, but no one would know who you are. It'd be like, yeah, that's that guy from that thing that was on telly once. Yeah, he's in celebrity Gogglebox.
Listen. For me doing Gogglebox with Mo Gilligan, I still get called Mo's friend from, you know, till today. No one knows who the hell Babatunde Aléshé is. They just go, oh yeah, you're Mo's friend, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, trust me, we're in the same boat, bro. But it is good, man.
But yeah, it looks absolutely incredible, and you guys are fantastic in it. When I said to my wife, oh, I'm doing this interview, she was like, oh my god, you can interview him, he's hilarious, watch him all the time.
Oh, bless, thank you. Yeah, man. No, Gogglebox has opened so many doors, man. I wouldn't be talking to you if it wasn't for Gogglebox, man. Honestly, man. Yeah, it's just been a great time.
And I suppose you get to watch some really crazy stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
What's like the craziest thing that you've had to watch on Gogglebox?
Oh gosh, what was that show? There was one show, I think, I forgot what it was called. It was on Netflix. The woman at her window or something like that. Something about some woman who basically she witnesses a murder from her house, and then the guy turns to her because he's seen it, and so then it's like now she's about to get murdered. That show, oh my gosh.
See, this is why I couldn't do it as well, because I saw the ad for that and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Not gonna watch it.
I'm not watching that. And with Gogglebox, you can't say no to anything. So it's literally, it just comes on. So you'll be sitting there thinking, okay, what's next? Boom, it just comes on the TV. And it's just like, okay, so that's how they kind of like get you to have like a natural reaction. So you'll be watching it going, okay, what's this? What's that? Oh my God, like kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. And I don't like scary movies. I hate scary movies. Anything scary or horror or whatever, please just don't send it my way. So, oh man, and and because of that, they love putting on scary movies on our schedule every time we do it. And so yeah, we'll always scream. Well, I'm always screaming. Mo's always laughing at me. So,
so Rebecca likes scary movies actually.
Oh my God.
When we first started seeing each other, like she's like, "What do you mean you've never seen Saw?" And just we watched all three pretty much back to back, and I was like, "Oh no!" Like,
mate, I went to the cinema when Saw 3 came out. And my mates convinced me to like go with them, and I was just, oh man, I don't want to go. They were like, come man. We get there, bruv. After the first 10 minutes, I walked out. I left my friends. I said, you man are mad. You want me to sit here and watch this psycho stuff? Brother, I'm gone. I bopped. Everyone was like glued to the cinema screen. And I was just like, everybody looked like zombies the way they were watching it, because everyone was just like fixated. And I was just like, how is it I'm the only one that finds this stuff very disturbing? Bro, I left.
You know, like, there was a big thing back then, wasn't there? I don't know, maybe it's still going on, but there was like Saw, and then I think Hostel was one of them. It's basically like, what was the freakiest thing for me was, not only is this a movie, but where is the inspiration coming from? There's obviously people who are thinking like this.
Thank you. That is my whole point, bro. Who thinks like this? Because we really need to intervene. All these people, like your Stephen Kings and all this stuff, it's like, dude, you guys have got some serious trauma, some serious problems, and like this, you need therapy. Why do you think like this? Who came up with this, bro? This is why I go to church, bruv. This is exactly why I go to church, bro. Certain men out here need Jesus, bruv. Certain man need Jesus more than me, because oh my god, I remember once, yeah. Sorry, I'm on a rant now, but we were watching It. When we did Goggle, the last Gogglebox we did, or was it second series? I think it was second series. We watched It. Fam, even Mo had to react. Mo was just like, what the hell was that? Because I think there's a bit where the clown sees a kid, kind of like lures him in, and then the kid's like locked in this kind of like room. So the clown is behind like a glass screen, and then he just keeps slamming his head on the screen to break the window to get at the child. Bruv. It's I forgot what episode it is on Gogglebox, but bro, when he breaks through, fam, I got the nearest pillow and I covered my eyes. And all I could hear is him eating the child. Mo was like, what the hell? Because apparently it was too much, and I'm glad I never saw that part. But this is what I'm saying, bro. Who are these people? Like, I know that one is Stephen King, right?
Yeah.
Stephen King, bro. We need to pray for this guy, bro. We need to pray for him. Nah, man.
Well, I've had a summer holidays of being on tour most weekends, so I need to go back to church.
But you can see how much I don't like horror movies. I cannot. Not for me.
But yeah, like I say, Rebecca was all over it. Thankfully, she doesn't subject me to it. When I'm on the road, that's when she watches that stuff. But not with me.
Yeah.
Oh, look, my youngest is in the background of the shot now. She's trying to sneak in very discreetly.
Listen, my son does that all the time.
Listening.
Yeah.
Do you remember that BBC interview?
Oh,
where the guy was like doing like that really serious piece.
But you know what? The way he shoved his daughter out the way. No, the maid came in, didn't she? The maid, or like the nanny.
That was his wife.
That was his wife.
It was his wife who came in.
Okay.
Yeah.
The way she came in to take that child, boy. Oh my god. But I didn't like the way he reacted, though. I didn't like the way he reacted. He was a bit too abrupt with the way he kind of wanted to get her out. Bruv, if that was me, you just got to roll with it, man. Bring the child, sit them on your lap. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a parent at the end of the day.
New world order now. Yeah, new world order with Zoom and stuff. Hopefully, in whatever teams people are working in. I've done it in meetings before. You know what? The child is there. Just sit them on the lap, get them involved.
Get them involved,
maybe
bro.
If you're not scripting a horror movie or something like that.
Oh, man. Great.
But actually, that's a good point. Talking about my kids are a bit older now, so they're starting to. I'm able to sometimes take them on set with me or take them to work. We shot a commercial together recently, and that's been really cool for them to finally see what Daddy does. And you mentioned your son's kind of writing his jokes and doing all that kind of stuff. I guess it's going to be a while before he can actually come and see what you do because of the nature of the comedy.
Definitely. But you know what? Also, it's how expressive my son is. That's why I wouldn't bring him to work with me anytime soon. My son, oh my God. There is no keeping him quiet. There is no. We had I had a pitch meeting the other day. I'm not going to say with which network, but I had a pitch meeting and proper serious talking about, like, you know, what we can do with like the TV show and blah, 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 blah. And beforehand, I said to my son, listen, I'm about to do a Zoom. Please do not walk into the room. Because it was just me and him. I was like, just please don't walk into the room. My son was like, yeah, cool. Bruv, within 2 minutes of me being on the Zoom, I see the door open and my son just, his eyes just kind of, you know they do that face, like, you know when you say, don't come in here on some bullshit, and then like you just see the child is just there, just like, I'm about to act up. Fam, my son was just acting up. It was so funny. I was vexed, but oh man, it was funny. It was funny, I have to admit.
Yeah, I recently put something up. There's a whole host of me doing self-tapes. You know, a lot of auditions now just from home, self-tapes from home. I'm in the rhythm of it. I'm quite enjoying it. A lot of people don't like doing this from home, but I'm like, yeah, do you know what? I don't have to keep going into town for auditions, and you know, I can get 3 or 4 tapes done in a day. But when the kids are at home, I've got so much storage on my phone that's just me going, hi, I'm Marcus Ransom. Quiet! Do the tape!
Bro, I know what that's like. Bro, my wife is downstairs with my son, holding him back right now. I already know. Because he will find any excuse to come up here and just disturb anything. Like, oh man, but you gotta love it, man. Like, they just wanna be involved, man. They just want to be involved.
Yeah, no, honestly, I really enjoy the fact that they are like a bit older now and are able to get involved and be kind of sensible with it. And it's interesting, like, my youngest is like your son. He's really like, he's outgoing. He's really kind of out there. So she's really out there, and she's, you know, every time she sees a camera, particularly if we're on set, she's like, here we go, I'm in front of the camera, and everybody loves her. And my eldest, she's fascinating in a really different way.
Right.
She's going into work and she's like, okay, what's that do? What's that do? What's that job? How does this work? And she's like really analytical and you know, if there's a career for her in the industry, it's probably behind the camera because she's so like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's all right.
That's great.
Again, you know, it's so cool that we can involve them in that kind of side of our work, because I think it's quite rare. Certainly when I was growing up, there was nothing for me to kind of go, oh right, this is a job. Like,
yeah. You know, bro, you know what I used to get? My mum used to do like kind of like different cleaning jobs. So sometimes she would take me to work with her when I was really young, and I can just remember her going, sit there and don't move. And back then, when like our parents would tell us sit there and don't move, it came with a lot more, you know what I mean, a lot more vim. I don't think I'm the same. Like when I say sit there and don't move, it don't sound the same. It don't hit, like there's something missing. Like
so Rebecca keeps telling me I'm turning into my parents, because I do that thing every time we go around to someone's house. I remember when I was a kid, like before you left the house, like, listen, you don't touch anything, you don't open your mouth, the only words coming out your mouth are please and thank you at most. Like, just be on your best behaviour. So I'll drop the kids around to like the in-laws or wherever. I'm like, okay kids, remember, be respectful of the house, don't be throwing the cushions around, say please and thank you. And they're straight up just like, whatever dad, we've been to Nan's house before.
Bruv, oh man, we got to work on like our dad voices or something like that, because it's not hitting, bruv. It's not hitting. I don't know what it is, but our parents, I feel like our parents were parents. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I feel like we're just winging it. Like our generation. I certainly am.
And I think that there's guys around me now who are having younger kids, and they're like, you know, Marcus, you got any advice for me? And I'm like, I don't think I have, mate. I'm still trying to figure this out myself.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. You know, one thing I've learned though, just off the back of that, is I've learned that just being there, being in the moment, is, for me, especially what my son appreciates the most. Prime example, like because we live in Hertfordshire, we can go to like, you know, sometimes go on a walk in like the fields, or go to like some of the local farms that are like in around the area, and that's when my son is at his most joyous time. Like he has his most, you know, his best life, when he just gets to run free and, you know, throw rocks into the water and stuff like that. And I remember the first couple of times I'd go, I felt like I really spoiled it for him, because I was always trying to monitor what he was doing. But then the last couple of times that I've been, and just allowing him to kind of like do his thing and just being in the moment with him, mate, it's so simple, but I think that was a lesson for me. It's just to sometimes allow him that freedom, just to kind of like be free, you know, express himself and just be there, have that moment with him. And he really appreciates that. Obviously, you still got to set boundaries, like, you know, in place here and there. But yeah, just being in the moment, man. That's the only advice I'd ever give to like a father. Other than that, I don't know, man. You got to beat your child.
I was saying to my dad the other day, I was like, hey dad, well, the other day, it was a while back, you know, like, I don't know whether it's because my kids are girls or what, but you know, you used to really beat me, man. And I love you, but what changed? He's like, oh, we just know better now. We just know better now.
Yeah.
So once I appreciate that growth, but like, and this, I mean, we're talking about our discipline and like the dad voice. My dad with his granddaughters, I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, exactly. Who is this person?
Like, he was just like, Granddad, can I have gummy bears for breakfast? Oh, yes, Tutu, of course, yes. Gummy bears for breakfast. What?
Never us. Never us. Oh my God. Listen, my mum is like, she's an angel to my son. And I'm thinking, this same woman, chase me around the house, like, for good reasons. But you used to chase me around the house with your slippers and like, you know what I mean? Oh man. It's good though to like look back at those times and laugh. But yeah, our children, man, they're spoiled, innit? They have it all.
Hopefully in a good way. But actually the other thing is, I remember like growing up and thinking, do you know what? All my mates used to go on, you know, come back from the holidays, and all my friends have been going abroad. Oh, we've been to Fuerteventura, we've been here, we've done that, and we couldn't really afford to do any of that. And then I must have been, it took me a while. I got to about, I think I was 20, and I was just in London jamming with some friends and stuff, and they were saying how they'd never been to Buckingham Palace or the Tower of London or the Natural History Museum, and I was like, what? What do you mean you've never done that? And I realised that's what you're talking about. My dad was present. Like, we didn't have any money, but he was there. He was like, okay, we're going to go and do stuff. And I'm packing up the lunches. Just going to town all day because the museums were free. Yeah. And not fully appreciating that until I was much older. Yeah.
Dude, we were having this exact same conversation the other day, me and my wife. We were both saying we never had those memories of going to, like, you know, like Butlins and Chester, all those places. And like, my wife makes sure that every single like summer holiday or any like half term or anything, she fills it with like activities. Okay, we'll go Butlins. Okay, we'll go here. We'll go there. With like a group of like, you know, family friends with their children as well. And but I had the same realization. I was like, man, I never did none of this when I was young, like at all. And it was because like my mum, single parent, you know, she was forced to work like literally all year round just to provide for us. So given like, it's a luxury to give that lifestyle to my son, because I know what it is like if it's, you know, you just leave the woman by herself to do everything. She can't do that, like all of that by herself, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, I appreciate my son's life, even though it's like way better than my childhood. You know what I mean? It's the truth, but I appreciate like the life that he's having now, because hopefully he passes that on to his children, and you know, it just keeps on going, man. I think that's the thing I appreciate more so about the position that I'm at now.
Yeah, I've very, very similar conversations with Rebecca. You know, we've just moved a bit further out. We've moved to Colchester in Essex.
Okay,
originally from Romford, and still, you know, go back home and see my folks. We've just kind of come back from there today via tour. But we got here like last year, and I was like, "What? Like, where am I, man?" But yeah, really enjoying it. Really enjoying just watching the kids flourish and being able to go, "Oh, do you know what? Yeah, you've got some opportunities now that you didn't have before, maybe, and you got some stuff to enjoy." And even back when we lived in Romford, actually, it's the same. We were able to take them places, do stuff with them that we wouldn't normally. You know, I never thought we'd be able to provide for them as well. So that's really exciting, and
bro,
yeah, we're very blessed with that.
Sometimes I look at my son and I'm just like, you don't know how lucky you are right now. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, even like little things, even when he's like, I remember the other day, my wife said to him, "What do you want for dinner?" And I said, hell no. I said, that question alone, just that question alone is a luxury. Do you think I could ask, my mum would even ask me, "What do you want?" Hell, my mum would be like, "Tonight we are eating rice." That's it, like, rice and stew, done. There is no pick and mix and, "Oh, what do you want?" There's no choice.
No. So I have the same thing. Like, I'm a terrible cook, but I try. And my girls, there's a thing as well. Yeah, I try, and I've fallen into this trap. Same thing. I remember it was a few years ago. The same moment where Rebecca would say it to the kids, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm doing the cooking." Like, "Kids, what do you want for dinner?" I'm like, "Why am I asking?" And now it's every time. But then this is where it gets worse. You know, the sass on these girls. So I'm saying to them, like, "Oh, what do you want for dinner?" Like, "Oh, we'll have like fish and chips, Dad, but don't burn the chips this time." Mummy doesn't
oh
burn
my
the
gosh,
chips.
yeah. Fam, imagine my son said to my wife, he was like, "Yeah, I want spaghetti bolognese, but make sure it's delicious." I'm like, "Hey?" I said, me and my wife looked at each other like, "Excuse you? What do you mean, make sure it's delicious?" Proper just, you know what I mean? Brazen. Said it with all his chest. "Yeah, make sure it's delicious though." I was like, wow.
It's another world, man. It's another world. And we'll probably get a load of listeners to the podcast being like, "I'm not sure these guys should be on a podcast called No Black Dads. They don't seem to have much control."
Nah, man, it's listen, like, yo, fatherhood itself, I say fatherhood mixed with being a husband, I think that's where the lesson, because when it comes to my son, I wouldn't say I've only learned how to be more patient. I think that's the one thing I've learned being a father. You've got to have a lot of patience. But being a husband, that's where the self-reflecting comes. That's where all the different lessons, all the different life lessons come, because there's so many challenges that you bump into being a husband. But yeah, just so far with being a father, it's just patience. Like, literally. I might learn stuff like the older he gets, like, you know, when he gets into his teens and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, not yet, man. Not yet. I mean, with a 6-year-old, there's not really that much to kind of learn. You just got to be patient, kind of tolerating certain things, just understanding that this is a child, you know. When my son first started talking, there's a tendency, especially as African, like Nigerian men, to talk to your child or treat them as though they've graduated into adulthood. Like, the minute he starts talking, automatically you're an adult now, you know. And I had to peel that back and be like, okay, just give him a blight here and there. Yeah, he might have done something that's naughty. He's a child though. But you see some parents, they just go crazy. They lose it. And it's just like, it's a child, man. Chill out.
Yeah. I think it's such an important observation about patience as well. And also, you know, mine are going to be 10 and 7 next week, 6 days apart. Terrible family planning. But the journey never stops, you know.
Yeah.
The different ages, the different kind of stages, the friendships that they make, the stuff that they're learning. It's still absolutely fascinating. And what
Don't you wish, though?
Presence being there.
Don't you wish you could choose some of your children's friends? Like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, but there are some of my son's friends. I'm just like, please get rid of that one.
Maybe it's a boy thing.
Maybe
The girls, but then it's again age is interesting. So like Eva, she's a little whirlwind, my youngest, and her friends are crazy. They're straight up like, whenever you see her friends, I'm like, right, if there's anything that could break in this house, let's move it. Let's move it out of the house. But Emily's like, she's almost 10 now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's a girl or like who she hangs around with, but the stuff that she comes out with is like a young woman, and she's talking to me about like rights and veganism and, you know, all kinds of, like, she's a sensible young woman, and I'm like, isn't that my baby? What's going on here? And her friends are like her, and her friends are like, they're very polite and they're very calm. She's really serene compared to Eva. So I'm kind of like, oh yeah, you know what? You can carry on hanging out with these people, and they talk about books and things, and Eva's friends are lovely as well, but they are mad. They're just like, they run everywhere, bump into things, bump into each other.
They say though that you know, girls mature much faster than boys. I know you don't have a boy, but like with your observation with, like, let's say a 10-year-old boy versus like your daughter, do you see that you know that?
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting question, because the honest answer is I can see that for sure.
Oh yeah, okay.
Even from a younger age. Like, I remember, you know, when kids are at that small age, it's really nice because they don't really go, well, boys play with boys and girls play with girls. They just play with each other, and then gradually they kind of split off. So I remember Emily had like a soft play birthday party thing with a few friends, and it turned out it's just like her and like 4 girls and then this one boy, all the same age. So the girls are like running around and playing, and they're being like kind of boisterous and climbing things, and, you know, it's an adventure playground place. And Emily came up to me, she's like, he keeps running up to me going, Hulk smash! So they're all running around crazy, but this boy is on another level. This boy the same age, his version of playing is running up to the girls, just going, Hulk smash!
Why that's so funny, but that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Yo. And the thing about it, yeah, because I have a boy, I know they just repeat it. They'll just keep going, and they won't stop. Because my son does the same thing. Like, once he gets hold of a phrase, that's it. You're hearing that for the whole day. So that is hilarious, mate. That is. I love that. I absolutely love that.
So yeah, I guess like the next thing now is thinking about kind of like, you know, she's going to be at secondary school when I blink, and she'll be in secondary school, and there'll be, you know, all other things to be dealing with.
Oh God, yeah, you got to deal with boyfriends, and you got to start getting hench markers.
I got a running joke with my wife, like with tour life and stuff. Exercise is up and down. I was like, I don't need to seriously get back on the weights. She's in secondary school soon. I need to like, but don't worry, Emily. When he comes round, just tell him your dad is Blancs, yeah. Tell him your dad's big.
Hey, bro, run in his face and scream, Hulk, smash! That's what you need to do, man. Listen.
So, I spoke to really random segue another way.
Yeah.
I was down at my old rugby club in Wanstead recently, and these days I managed to play rugby like once every 2 years. 4th team rugby, a few beers, you know, see your old pals. These kids, these 18-year-old kids are running up and down that rugby pitch, and they're like twice the size of me, and I'm
massive.
I feel it's like, you coming back to training? No.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to chill out, bro. I'm trying to live to see the next day. These kids, I don't know what they're eating now, but they are massive. Listen.
They're big, man. They're big.
Oh, I love it, man.
She'll probably bring some 13-year-old boy around, and I'll be like, okay.
You can take her out, it's fine. Great.
Gosh. So we've had some random segues on the discussions about fatherhood and parenthood. But you talked about being a husband.
Yeah.
And that's a really interesting journey as well. I suppose to wrap up, have you got any advice for the husbands out there?
Wow. Ooh.
Or, you know, actually, no, that's not fair. Husbands, partners, fathers.
Yeah, okay. The only thing I would say is whether it's, let's say, an argument or dispute or whatever, always have moments for like self-reflecting. Treat it almost like a monthly or a yearly review of what have I learned this year about me, about, you know, our relationship, about my wife, blah blah blah. Yeah, be self-aware. Work on being self-aware, work on reflecting. And look, I'm a person that I never try and advocate for, like, I want the perfect marriage or the perfect relationship, but you do have to work at being better. And if anything, if you keep that at the forefront, it's not about perfection, it's just about being better yearly and, you know, staying together and building, have a picture in your mind of what it is that you're working towards, and just, yeah, go after that, man. I think that's that's kind of like poor, not really great advice. I'd probably have to think it through, but yeah. I think
that really resonates. I think, you know, particularly if I think about my own experience, I guess because my career is so fluid, between, you know, acting, music, etc. And I'm away a lot. Those moments of reflection, whether it's by yourself or together, they happen quite frequently for us, and I think they're really important. We kind of go like, what are we aiming for? What are we going to get out of this? What are we putting into this? And I think, it's absolutely like spot on. I think that's really important, and God willing, you know, is working so far for us.
Yeah, I mean, me and my wife, what we love is that picture, like, you know, when you see like old couples still holding hands and they're walking down the street or they're having dinner, we were like, that's what we want to be. We want to be that.
Yeah, do you know what?
Do you know what I mean?
So that's one of the things that really resonated with me. We were filming the second series of Andy and the Band last year, and we had an episode with Anita Dobson, and then the next day Brian May was doing his guest appearance in the episode. But she came on set with him for the second day, and he'd never acted on camera before. He'd done like music videos and stuff. This is his first ever acting gig, and they were just like the sweetest couple. They were talking about how she'd been helping him with lines and stuff, and every time like there was a break or the camera cut, they were just like holding hands, walking around, like chatting to each other, and I'm like,
I love that.
This is beautiful.
Yeah,
yeah,
I love that, and that's what we want to be.
Yeah. That's a fantastic vision. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, we have talked for a very long time. I've absolutely enjoyed it. We could go on for forever. But yeah, so just before we kind of end, is there anything we should be looking out for from you coming our way?
Ooh, yeah, man. Yeah, you're gonna see. Just keep your eyes peeled. There is something huge coming to your TV screens very, very soon. Keep your eyes peeled for those people who have been like following my career and wanting to see me kind of like make that transition into like a household name. Trust me when I tell you, you're going to be very, very happy very, very soon. There is something really fantastic coming. I can't say, but you will see. Other than that, my tour is next year, the Bubblehood tour. Going to be across the whole of the UK, and that's going to be running for like 5 months. So go to Live Nation, .co.uk, get your tickets, book your tickets for the Bubblehood tour. And yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for this year, next year, but also for the future. So God willing, man, anyone out there, keep me in your prayers. And yeah, man, let's see what the future holds, man. But there's some good stuff, good conversations happening. And yeah, let's see.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And of course, the Mission Imagination podcast is out now as well for anybody who wants to check that out. Bubba, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.